Amplified, a Groundwork Ohio podcast, elevating family voices for Ohio's young children. This podcast is led by Groundwork Ohio's Center for Family Voice, a center of excellence dedicated to authentically engaging Ohio parents and families in the policies and practices that impact the healthy development of their children. The center is focused on eliminating disparities in systems that serve pregnant women, young children, and their families, and drives programmatic, policy, and practice changes at local, regional, and state levels by integrating the family voice into the decision-making process of Ohio's family-serving systems.
Hello, and welcome to the Amplified podcast. My name is Margot Arnold, and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for Groundwork Ohio. Today's podcast will focus on the topic of elevation. And here with me, I have Luz Martinez from Cuyahoga County. She is one of our Family Leadership Institute members and also a family ambassador through our Family Action Network. Welcome, Luz.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Can you tell us about your family?
So I have 3 kids. I have a 9-year-old girl. Her name is Gabriella. I have an 8-year-old boy. His name is Curtis Jr. And then I have a 6-year-old. Her name is Xiomara. They are my driving light. They are my force. Everything that I do for my kids to make sure that they have a better future. For them to be the best individuals that they can be.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sorry, I get so emotional when I talk about my kids.
No,
They're my babies.
Yeah, I'm sure most parents do feel that way. So I'm sure people who see this will definitely be able to understand how your heart tugs when you think about what you brought into the world, or
I miss my babies right now.
See,
even though they're like not far from me, they're at the park and they're having fun. I really miss my babies. They're my heartbeat.
Yeah,
They're what keeps me going.
Yeah,
And they've seen part of my journey, like medical wise as well, but I continue to keep fighting for them.
Yeah.
So
Considering just like how they make you feel on the inside in your journey with advocacy, like what do you see as ways to help others who may not have children or be as close to really, I guess, take up these issues?
I feel like when you become a parent, it's a whole nother level of love to the point that you're willing to do anything and everything to make sure that your baby is okay.
Yeah.
Whether it's a child, whether it's a pet, like something that you absolutely love. Just like having a child is basically the same love that you would give your pet. You just, they're not in human form.
Right.
So
the dog moms, cat moms,
right,
plant
like
moms.
just think
dads.
about removing that piece of joy away from you. That's not a really good feeling, and that's how I feel like any parent would feel. Like, you understand what it is? That unconditional love where you're like, oh no, we got to make changes. Like, this is not.
Yeah, and it's
Where my tax dollars going to?
Yeah,
Like, no.
It's funny that you would mention love, because a lot of times when people think about like the political advocacy space, that's the last thing that they see as a part of that space. So I
feel like the political space is lacking that love, and compassion, and understanding that we're humans with feelings, with families. We get sick.
Yeah.
Things happen. We're not robots.
Yeah.
we're not IA. You can't program us not to have emotions. I'm a very emotional person. I probably cried like 25 times a day. You put anything on the news that got to do with some babies, I am boo-hoo crying. My boss is laughing at me. Not in a bad thing, just because I'm such an emotional person. I'm like an empath, so I have the ability to feel others' pain.
Yeah.
And when I say that unconditional love, when you love anything, whether it's a child, a turtle, a plant, a cactus, just think about someone ripping that away from you. And I feel like the lack of resources that we have in our communities is we don't put love into our communities. We don't have compassion for our communities.
Yeah.
We need to start there.
Wow, that's a beautiful point. I know you're from Cuyahoga County. What kind of love would you want to see there?
Oh, we need all kinds of love. Sorry, babe. I'm going to put you on blast. We need community love. We need to stop the violence. We need love in our school systems. We need love for our kids. We need love for our teachers, our daycare staff. Like, we need love out there. We need funding.
Yeah.
We dodging potholes, bullets, Kia boys. Come on now. We're putting money and resources into things that we don't really need.
Yeah.
Your community is crumbling. We just had a 3-year-old child got killed a few blocks away from me.
Wow.
A few days ago. Like, when is it going to stop?
Yeah.
We need to protect our kids. We need to protect our community. Our communities are infested right now with toxins and poisons and the wrong type of things because we don't have the necessary funding to bring good programs. Where I'm from, everybody doesn't want to do bad. Some of us are just stuck because that's where we come from. Yeah. But it's like my whole life, I'm from Cuyahoga County, but I'm not even from the state. So my whole life I've seen nothing but poverty. And at some point you gotta want better. You gotta want to do better. Yeah. And you gotta want to escape. Yeah. And it's not just wanting to escape, but also wanting to help the people there. Because not everyone is bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a critical message, and even why the Center for Family Voice exists, because it can seem like, because of the way that things have been in the past, people don't really believe that people actually want to progress and get better, but it's quite the contrary. Like you said, we may just not know what to do or how to
opportunities come like NBA contracts over there to us. They're very slim to none. Very slim to none. Yeah. And I feel like opportunities should be available for everyone. As long as you work for it and you want that, you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why it's like, if there are a lot of things that we can't change, but there are many things that we can change. So that's why it's so important for parents, caregivers, foster parents, really to join together.
And it comes down to love and compassion. Yeah. Not just for everyone. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not just for one group of people, but for everyone. Because at the end of the day, you see and you look down and you break down all these issues that are really going on. Yeah. We all broke over here. Everyone is struggling. The whole state. You have to see that all your groups of people are struggling. Some way, somehow.
Yeah, in various forms, people do struggle.
That's the number one. No matter where we come from, we're all struggling
with something. So exactly. Yeah, when we join together and put aside the facade that we're not, then we can actually
where the love
join
and
together.
The compassion come in.
What has having the opportunity to be an advocate, how has that made a difference for you in being able to advocate for yourself or for your children?
It's given me a sense of empowerment, just because of how do you say, my background, my history.
Mm-hmm.
This was something that I really never had the opportunity
Yeah.
to go through. So most people don't know I was in a really bad relationship for 10 years of my life, and it was very abusive to the point that I wasn't allowed to pick my own friends. I wasn't really allowed to freely speak. It was almost like I was a prisoner.
Mm.
So to be able to have a voice and know that people are actually listening, but not just listening, but understanding and comprehending, that means the most to someone that has gone through that, where they really didn't feel like they ever had a voice or no one was ever hearing them.
Mm. So. That's beautiful, and I'm thankful that we get to share in this journey of you finding even yourself and your voice, and I know your kids see that as you continue to move forward. So how would you encourage somebody to elevate, or what are some obstacles you face as you've tried to be an advocate?
I don't mind, because there's so many people that struggle with it,
Mm-hmm.
and how do you say, maybe don't have the courage to speak about it. Because I was once that person. And I lived through a lot of things in quiet. But then to find out that, like, that's not something that you really want to deal with or be part of. Like, I don't mind doing it for that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want, how do you say, things to change for everyone across the board, or just our kids to grow up to be normal.
Yeah.
How we kind of grew up back in the days, where our parents can trust us going outside and playing, and we ain't had daycare centers. We had come home before the lights came on outside. Like things like that.
Yeah. I agree. That would be ideal. So how do we bring that back?
I feel like we're investing in the wrong things.
Mm.
Things that don't really matter.
Yeah.
And what they fail to realize is that our kids are the future politicians, doctors,
True.
nurses, lawyers, vets, down to fast food workers.
Yep.
But we're not really setting our kids up for a bright future.
Yeah.
When there's not really fundings for schools and fundings for teachers and stuff like that. And funding for overall to make families better. I feel like funding is going to the wrong places.
Yeah.
And our future is not very, how do you say, not very bright. I used this in another meeting that I went to. And I said, you got to think of our kids as gardens. You have to plant them, teach them, fertilize them, love them, grow them, water them.
Yeah.
And they are fruitful. And they bloom to be these beautiful flowers.
Yeah.
But where I'm from, we have no access to education. the healthcare system is broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
what type of garden you think you planting over there? Like,
Yeah.
you're growing more broken individuals.
Mm.
It's about, to me, parenting is about wanting your kids to be more and better than who you are.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, and I think that's why we need even more parent, caregiver advocates to be able to say these are the issues that we're facing, and you guys really should listen to us. Yeah.
We don't have access to child care and the basic things that we need,
Mm-hmm.
but yet we're your workforce.
Yeah.
Without us, what do you really have? But the basic things that we do need are so out of reach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not going to be helpful because the business wants employees who are able to come to work, come on
Exactly.
time, and be productive. But if you're worrying about what's happening at home,
If you work in a factory, how and your kids get sick, you can't take them on the line with you.
nope.
Just like I told the one legislator, I can't stick them in the closet till I get done. Like, come on, like, think about that.
Yeah.
You want me to go to work and sustain on my own 2 feet,
Mm-hmm.
but the things that I need,
Yeah.
I don't have access to.
Yeah.
And if I do have access to, it's so expensive, it's out of reach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like I was in the paper for the healthcare cliff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to be in the paper for the child care cliff. What else cliff you gonna put me on? Like, I'm about to fall off. You
No
understand
more
what I'm saying?
cliffs.
Like,
No more cliffs.
it's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I think now it's starting to come to a head because many of the issues that the everyday citizen are facing now, a lot of those politicians are.
Daycare alone costs $10,000 per child per year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
A fortune. Yes. Yes.
I'm just like this magical genie that's supposed to make all these things happen.
So again, that's why we need people to speak up and us to collectively speak out against what everyday Americans are facing, everyday Ohioans are facing.
Not just that, man. Like, I drive around my city
Mm-hmm.
and I see the need
Yeah.
in so many places, from food deserts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do they make us feel like we always come from the wrong side of the tracks?
That is.
Why they don't invest in it? Opportunities for us
Mm-hmm.
come like NBA contracts. Slim to none.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty slim.
Right. So if you get that opportunity in a bigger platform
Mm-hmm.
to go ahead and help not just yourself,
Yeah.
but others around you,
Mm-hmm.
why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people just need an opportunity. Like, literally, I am where I am because of an opportunity.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to give me that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But they chose me.
Oh, yeah. Chosen.
And I'm just, how do you say, like, I'm doing God's work. So I let him guide me and
Mm-hmm.
tell me what he wants me to do next.
Yeah. What else are like things that help you keep moving forward?
My kids,
Mm.
that's my drive. Always just to be better.
Yeah.
My kids have been through so much and seen so much that I just always want to protect them
Yeah.
and make sure that my kids are okay.
Yeah.
My kids are safe. And, but I do come from the wrong side of the track, so there's other things that I have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping them safe from the outside and
Yeah. Okay, so here's another question. What would you share with parents or caregivers who, like you, see all the community issues, but are like, I don't know if there's anything for me to do. I don't know if anybody will really listen to my concerns.
Don't stop.
Mm.
There's actually somebody out there that's listening. I used to be the same way. I used to think the same way until I'm sitting right here right now. I never really thought people were paying attention to me. I never really did it to even get any attention. I was just like common sense speaking. Just because it doesn't make sense.
Yep. Yep. At our
A lot of things don't make sense.
yeah.
And you gotta make it make sense.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. At our Leadership Institute retreat that Luz is a part of, we did the Strength Finders, or now the Clifton Strengths. And one of her top strengths was strategic. And so that makes sense that you would need it to make sense.
Yeah, because that thing was creepy. And I don't really mean it in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was weird my entire life. Taking that test really put a lot of things into perspective on who I am as a person and answered a lot of questions for me.
Yeah.
Just because I walked around for years thinking I was weird. Just because even when I go to the supermarket, I plan out this route.
Going to outside and
Yep.
then inside.
The furthest place out and work my way in. The last spot is like everything to me is a strategy. Everything to me has to fit into place. Everything to me has to work.
Yeah.
The way that this government is running is not working.
Yeah.
None of the pieces are fitting into place. None of it is
Yeah.
making sense. Why?
Somebody needs
Y'all
to
got
ask.
some explaining to do.
Yeah, somebody
and y'all
needs to
have to
ask.
take accountability for these things, because now the people are speaking because we need y'all help.
Yeah.
We should not have to struggle for basic things that we need.
Yeah.
Not just for my family, but for every family out here, whatever their struggle is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It should not be that hard to take care of the kids that you guys want to overpopulate the state with.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I agree.
How you gonna help us take care of these expensive kids when daycare alone costs $10,000 a year? How? My salary alone is daycare fees. Do you understand? That does not make sense.
No.
How am I supposed to get to daycare with no car? How am I supposed to get there to daycare? How am I supposed to feed them when eggs are costing $27? and everybody laughs at that comment when I made it.
Yeah.
But when I went to Capitol Hill, I had literally paid $27 for a box of eggs at Sam's Club.
Wow.
Prior to me landing there for
wow.
my kid, because a dozen eggs in my house don't do anything. They just tickle. I need to have that big box of eggs to make it through anything, because my kids eat a lot. So people laugh when I make that, but that was a very true statement.
See?
How I just paid $27 for some eggs. You want $27 for some eggs. You want $5 for a loaf of bread. You want $5 for... No one is giving me the $5. Where do you want it from?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to help us, because we're struggling. We're struggling bad.
Yeah.
And not just me in Cleveland. You got people in Dayton. You got people all across the... what is it? Sorry if I say this wrong. The Alopecia?
Oh, Appalachia.
I'm sorry. They're struggling out there.
Yeah.
You got people in Cincinnati struggling. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you bring up, is that the issues cross all different backgrounds and
You know what we
regions.
professional at? being professionally broke.
Oh. She said what she said.
Exactly. Being professionally broke. That's what we are professionals at.
No, I really think that amongst the nation, Ohio really could stand out, but it's like what's really happening, what's important to us. And I think that family voice has to become important.
They need to start evaluating the programs and the systems that they have in play.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it means restructuring them,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, it's going to cost you way more money
Yeah.
to help all these individuals down the line when you have issues like disabilities, mental issues, mental behavior issues,
Yeah.
issues based off of trauma.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you more money down the line instead of giving people what their basic needs up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
For them to take care of themselves. Why? I mean, I don't understand why it's so hard. I don't get it. And here's the thing, like with the issues with the cliffs.
Yeah.
We about to be knocked off of basically everything.
The child care cliff, the benefit cliff.
I'm on every cliff.
So
I'm about to fall off. Like
yeah,
I'm on every cliff. Like you knocked me. I have a pacemaker. You knocked me off the medical system. I can no longer see my doctor. I can no longer afford my daughter's asthma medication. I can no longer afford my son's medication for his issues that he has for his disability.
Wow.
You knock us off of child care, I can't go to work. Like, come on now. Like, none of this makes sense. Then you want me to pay $27 for some eggs.
$27 for some eggs. That's a lot
Come
of
on
money.
now.
That's a lot of money.
Gas going up. Everything is going up. But
so
how come these things are not reflected in the guidelines? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
These crazy inflations that we're paying for. Why are these things not calculated into the guidelines? Because having a car to take my kids to school and me to work is not a luxury. That is a necessity.
It definitely
Having
is.
internet in your house is no longer a luxury. That is a necessity. The pandemic taught us that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anything, the pandemic taught me to make myself bulletproof.
Just what are some things that you've had to do, or what are some things that you've gone through, whether it's obstacles or situations that you've had to elevate or rise above?
I went from being someone in a not very comfortable work environment and losing it. And then what a lot of people don't know is I started selling food out of the back of my car and going to school, teaching my kids.
Wow.
And still was able to make it out of that rut. So if you really want something that much,
wow,
you're willing to do anything. I used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to start cooking.
Wow.
To be out delivering food at 12 noon. And I was still in class this whole time with my camera off.
Wow.
Just doing what I had to do.
Yeah,
But as a mom, it's like, do you stop? Do you give up?
Yeah.
Or you just do what you have to do?
Wow. So we've gotten through a lot of different topics, but is there anything else that you would want to share with our viewers?
If you want something, never stop. Keep chasing after it. God works in mysterious ways. And he sometimes unlocks doors and windows that you may never even know that they were there, but things are happening for a reason and for a purpose. And I don't know how people may take this, or I don't want to disrespect anybody, but my favorite Bible verse is Corinthians 14:16. Let everything that you do be done in love. And I literally walk by those words every day, just because there's so much hate in the world that we need to get down to the basics and just love one another.
Wow, that's beautiful. So I just want to say thank you to.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I know I'm such a crybaby.
No, we need that. People with empathy. So just thank you to Luz for sharing your story. And to all those parents, caregivers out there, you have a voice as well. So we welcome you to join us in the Family Action Network to amplify your voice and the issues that you see that are important. So follow us online, Groundwork Ohio, and we look forward to connecting with you in the future. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to the Amplified podcast on the Groundwork Ohio YouTube channel. If you wish to engage with Groundwork Ohio to amplify your voice and support policies to improve the lives of Ohio's youngest children, please visit groundworkohio.org.